be alive right now.
All right,
That
we're
was their
talking about
primary job.
INFJs in this video. We're talking about the fact that they tend to get amongst typology circles a certain special ooh, and that a lot of people
Uh,
would like to be INFJs. It seems to me, and a lot of people probably mistype themselves as INFJs because it's a desirable type to be according to the initial research on Myers-Briggs types. If you read about the different types, there's plenty of good reasons to want to be an INFJ. Number one, they have an easy time of it socially, usually, and that's a good reason to think it's a worthwhile type to be. Now, the downside I see of INFJ is not so much anything that they start out with, but the risk of getting locked into NI loops and not and stopping growth, I guess. If their FE is giving them everything they need, it may prevent them from growing further. But that's not necessarily the case. I don't see that happening to INFJs around here. I just see that as a possible. Well, because Corey did that.
Something I was talking about
INFJ's other
earlier.
big problem is they got to not get locked into a bad relationship, so they never get themselves out of it.
Was talking earlier. I was talking earlier about like the NITI loops, where it's like instead of trying to trying to figure out your own personal values and standing on that, you start trying to find comfort in like frameworks, which doesn't work because there's infinite frameworks. And it's like, basically, I mean, it's typical human shit. That's why, like, I can't even relate it to just INFJ stuff. It's like, you gotta be good with what's going on in your head. Uh, Instead of trying to form the world around you into being perfect. I don't know. I don't even find, it's fucking, I don't even know anymore. I don't know things.
I mean, I think the INFJ has to be okay with 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 bruising some people, you know? Like INFJ doesn't like to bruise people. If they do so, they want to do it really subtly and gently in one time, and that's it. And then that's their message. They got their message across.
I want to be able to punch people without leaving a bruise. That's the struggle. I want to be able to have my fun, but it typically leaves bruises. So I'm like, So then I start thinking having fun is bad, so then I don't want to have fun. But then I don't feel good inside because I'm not having fun. So.
Right. Well, the thing about INFJs that is very much worth mentioning as well as on the positive column is they do actually have an uncanny knack for saying the one thing that you actually need to hear when you need to hear it. I found that to be the case. And they don't necessarily always say a lot. Ken's a chatty one. Nandi a little less chatty. But do those light up? Do those just light up? Oh, they light up. Cool. The if you listen, you got to listen, but you'll get very useful shit from them if you listen to them. You have to be willing to put shit they say in the garbage pile too. They're not always right, but they often, very often are, and they'll often have a knack for doing exactly what I said, which is having the one piece of guidance that actually makes a difference. I mean, I think it's biased by the fact that their second slot is FE, my third slot is FE, and the FETI reverse combo means they have a different perspective, but they present it in ways that are very palatable to me. So it makes sense to me. Like, their conclusions make sense. They're filtered through the same two judging functions, but they're prioritized opposite, and so it's like the other perspective on it and it balances out my TI, and they tend to have the answer for me anyway.
I've been having an interesting situation trying to figure out typology stuff and trying to decide what is inherently INFJ and what is typical of many people. Because it's like the other night I was talking with somebody. I had her take the MBTI test and a socionics test, and apparently on 2 different occasions she got ESTJ. I don't know if she is an ESTJ. If she is, we get along great. So it's like supposedly my conflictor type, but I don't know. It's like,
well, I mean,
I think there's. Oh, go ahead.
The thing to know about those interpersonal relationships, intertype relations, is they're designed to talk about people who are not engaged in a lot of metacognition, so that if an unself-aware ESTJ hooks up with an unself-aware INFJ, and they're not processing shit through any kind of a model, then those individuals will be more likely to display the interpersonal difficulties that socionics mentions. I will say that I find it true for the ESTJ that I tend to defer to them as supervisor types for me, which they are. Easy habit for me because my dad was one. And I will say also that I understand that ENTP relationships have a limit of depth to them because neither party has FI in the mix. They're just sort of exchanging fun stories. So that's not going to be. It may be a good friendship, but it's not going to be a good romantic relationship. ENTP. And in that regard, I understand that the socionics description of the identity type match seems to fit my understanding of it as well. And I will also say that I think my beneficiary, ENFJ, I do tend to relate to ENFJ as a benefactor-beneficiary relationship. So those make sense to me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that all my relationships make sense in that capacity. I don't really feel supervised by Kit Kats or any of the other INFPs. I don't know.
About when your feelings come into play. Is that where you see them sort of?
Well, Kitty Meow Meow gets most of my feelings. She says, if we're talking feelings, those are for me. Here, get down, Kitty. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Anyway, I don't know. I don't have that experience where I've got to wrestle with feelings a lot to know whether or not I would turn to an INFP to help me with it. Because, well, I mean, as we've articulated in the past, the problem with feelings is they aren't something you can use. They aren't something you can do something with. There's things that happen to you.
Like reactions.
Kitty, that's it. Enough.
Is that what your FI's like? It's like, God damn it, FI.
I'm not in the mood for kitty love right now. I'm in the mood for kitty. Well, the other thing is kitty love right now is very sexualized because Kitty is in heat. So
That's
she's
how
always
my FI gets sometimes.
she's always putting her butt up in the air to me and saying, "Have at it, big boy," and I just am not interested. So I don't like the idea of surgically harming my animals like that.
Mm. Sorry
I
if I'm
was.
not contributing to this video. I'm just sort of.
Oh no, you're contributing immensely, Ken.
I'm
Your gorgeous,
yeah.
gorgeous face is what's going to keep people sitting here and watching this video. It's not my talking.
Yeah.
It's staring at that lovely visage. It is. Thanks, Court. It's fantastic. It is spectacularly good stuff. That's right, Lightbulb. By using my highly developed FE, I'm able to ensure that everyone is both entertained and informed by this wonderful video. Oh, major INFJ mistypes? Yeah, ENTP would be one. I tend to mistype INFJs as either ENTP or INTP. Because they're the smartest of the Fs.
That's a tall order.
By smartest, I mean most Parsi. They're the most Parsi of the Fs. What do you mean that's not called for? It's a compliment. Oh, yes, right. You guys don't want any burdens. You just want to sit around and muse.
Kitty. INTP, INFJ.
Like my friend, whose name I suddenly can't remember. That's what happens when you don't sleep very, very much. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Stephen Brooks.
So that's both of our
Stephen
problems.
Brooks. Stephen Brooks is an INFJ. I was convinced he was an ENTP for a long time, but I was wrong. Once I actually talked to him for a while and sat down and talked about it, then no, it's not that way. The other way around. I mistype INFJs as INTPs, not the other way around. INTPs, I'll sometimes say maybe you're an ENTP, but almost always I'll get INTPs right away. INTPs, I can smell them.
Yeah.
They smell like sourness and deliberation. Court, would you identify with those two adjectives? Sourness and deliberation? How about you, Luna? Would you call yourself more sour or more tart?
Luna's got a definite, like, bland granola, sort of like bordering on kashi vibe. That stuff. There's some slight tartness, but it's like all natural flavoring. Kind of like, oh, okay.
Well,
All right.
Luna, you're in luck because you've got a permanent line to a red emergency line to Parker Tart Lemon Squeeze. He's a little obsessed with tartness, so he may call you to ask questions about it. I don't know. So, any other thoughts about INFJ? INFJ are saints. They can do no wrong, says Nick. Exactly right. That's exactly correct. Saints who are incapable of wrongdoing. I think that's the best possible description of the INFJ personality type.
Just look at me and Nande. We have the face of saints. Look at that. Just fucking thrilled.
If you want the answer to the life's hardest question, ask an INFJ. Similarly, if you want to live forever, ask an INFJ. If you want to experience love for the first time, ask an INFJ. If you want to know what it really, 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 really means to sit someplace and think about something, ask an INFJ. Or an INFJ.
That's the end of that topic.
Okay, so that's it for that topic. Thanks for watching Talk with Famous People. As you can tell, INFJs are a panacea that solves all of our problems forever.